2 minutes to PAO event. Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston Station, we are ready for the event.
Connecticut Public Radio, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check. This is Mission Control.
Station, this is John Henry Smith with Connecticut Public Radio. How do you hear me?
Hi, John Henry Smith. We got you loud and clear up here on the International Space Station.
Excellent. Are we ready then?
We are absolutely ready.
All right, here we go. For Connecticut Public Radio, I'm John Henry Smith. When last we spoke with South Windsor native Jack Hathaway back in 2021, he had just been selected to NASA's astronaut candidate class. Fast forward 5 years, now he's aboard the International Space Station as part of Expedition 74. He's joined in orbit by fellow astronaut Jessica Meir, a Maine native, the pride of Caribou High School, who has already spent more than 200 days in space in her career, and she's helped make history during the first all-female spacewalk. Joining us from space, astronauts Jack Hathaway and Jessica Meir. Great to have you both. Jack, when we spoke a few years ago, you were just beginning the astronaut training, as we established earlier. What's been the moment up there that's made it all feel real?
Thanks for the question. I guess it never really feels real to be up here. It's such a surreal, awesome experience. Going through the training with Jessica and all of our colleagues has been awesome. Definitely in the last few months, as you're starting to do things for the last time on Earth before you come up to the space station, it starts to feel real. And that moment when we got into the Tesla and we drove to the rocket, and you're like, all right, this is real. We're in spacesuits. We are in the car. We're going to the launch pad. You know, everyone's watching. Just so many awesome moments along the way on such an incredible journey.
I'm just having this image of you in a spacesuit in a Tesla. That happened, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. We got to get from the crew quarters where we do quarantine and get into our suits the morning of. We've got to get out a couple miles to the launch pad at Kennedy Space Center there. And they got an incredible team at Kennedy that take care of us and get us out to the launch pad and keep us safe and have the rockets ready. And yeah, it's such an adventure in that moment. And it was super early in the morning, like 2 o'clock in the morning. The stars were out. A little bit of mist from the early morning clouds. It was a pretty surreal night, morning. I don't know what to say.
I'm just saying, as big as those spacesuits are, I would have thought you would have needed a Cybertruck at least to get you out there. But hey, that's I guess those Teslas are fairly spacious. Jessica, you've been to space before, obviously. This is your second time aboard the International Space Station. Now, how does this experience compare with your first mission?
Well, a lot of the things are pretty much the same. The space station hasn't changed all that much. Our role up here is pretty much the same. I would say there's even more stuff now than there was when I was here before. But my role has really changed this time, and that's because as the experienced one on board, I've taken over in kind of a mentorship role, and that has been incredibly rewarding for me and really quite different from being, the new guy on board. All three of the crew members in the USOS segment, Jack and our crewmates, Chris and Sophie, it's all their first flight. So it's incredibly rewarding for me to be able to think I can help positively influence their expedition and pass on a few tips along the way. But really, it's so rewarding to watch them see it all for the first time and experience it all for the first time. Those first moments in weightlessness, those first moments looking back at our planet, they are simply extraordinary, and it's extra exciting to see somebody else experience that for the first time.
Now, you both come from very different professional paths. Military aviation for you, Jack, scientific research for you, Jessica. How do those backgrounds complement each other aboard the station?
It's really such a great question, how people from different backgrounds can come together to accomplish a mission like this. And in some ways, NASA's great at bringing people from different backgrounds together. But also, Jessica and I aren't all that different. Like, we may have grown up in slightly different professional careers or very different professional careers, but we both share an operational mindset, an expeditionary mindset that we can come up here and work real time and work through problems in an austere environment far from support. And it doesn't really matter whether you flew jets or you did science in Antarctica before you came here. Like, we recruit and hire and train people that have the same mindsets to accomplish these things. So I think ultimately we actually have more in common than we do differently, and that's really one of the great things about the International Space Station, that we can all come together despite these small differences and see our similarities and accomplish a really great mission for all humanity.
Jessica, your research is focused on...
I think as well, to add to that, it's also...
Jessica, your research is focused on... Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to add to that a little bit more and say it's a great thing that we do have these backgrounds of different types and diversity in the office and up here on the space station. I think if you look at countless studies down on Earth, you see that diverse teams are not only more successful, but they're also happier and more content. We don't want to have 8 people up here that think in totally the same way. If we're presented with a new problem or a challenge, having different ways of thinking and different experiences in our past really helps us consider all sides of it and come up with, I think, the optimal solution. So it's really nice to see these similarities, like Jack mentioned, and then also to take advantage of these differences in our background to really be an effective team.
For people listening across New England, especially younger people who may want to be Jack Hathaway and Jessica Meir one day, what would you want them to take away from your journeys and your paths toward getting where you are? Your path.
I would say for young people out there that are excited about being part of human spaceflight or really whatever goal you have in life, Jessica and I found different paths to get here. We found the path that we love. We found the path that fills us with passion and excitement. And then we did our best to get really good at it. And we had mentors and teammates along the way that helped us get there. But find something that you love. Find the interest that's exciting to you, that's really, really cool, and just dive into it and get great at it. And that's going to inspire everyone around you, and that's going to allow you to accomplish all sorts of incredible things. Whether you end up on the International Space Station or you join us on our mission to the moon and beyond, or you find another walk or path in life that excites you, just get into something that you love and just try to get as good as you can and be thankful for the teammates and the mentors and the friends that you make along the way.
Jessica? Did you want to chime in, Jessica?
Yeah, I totally agree. Those are the exact... Those are the exact words that I use when I'm asked that question. It's all about what excites you and what you're passionate about. I truly think that that is the only way to excel at something, is if you truly believe in it and you find joy in it and it brings you passion and purpose. And not only can you excel at it that way, but I think, that's the key to happiness in the end. So whatever the path is, if it is wanting to be an astronaut like us or having any dream, if you do choose that thing that you're passionate about, do a lot of hard work along the way and persevere, really anything can happen. We're just two kids that grew up in a classroom in Connecticut or in Maine, just like everybody else there. And in the end, you never know what you can accomplish.
What's the surprising thing about being in space that people who aren't initiated would not expect? Jessica, we'll start with you.
We're asked that a lot, what surprised you on your mission or what did you not expect? And I think we are incredibly overtrained, even, I would say. We're so ready for all the technical challenges because we have years of training on the ground, and that is so important with supplying us with all of the knowledge, all of that muscle memory that we need, especially for things like spacewalks, things that are really complex mental and physical challenge. So we are so ready in that regard. But the one thing that nobody can train you for is just living and working in microgravity for. So that's, it's not necessarily a surprise because you know what's going to happen, but you don't know how it's going to feel. Even when you talk to other astronauts and you get their tips and tricks, it's different for you when you experience it, and nothing can really prepare you for being able to let something go and it doesn't fall. When you get here and you start putting things down, a drink bag or anything, you Velcro it to a surface, but then you change orientation over and over the course of the activity that you're doing, and suddenly you don't even remember which surface you have it on. There's stuff in every direction. So like teaching your brain to understand how to navigate and operate and have this spatial awareness in a truly three-dimensional volumetric space is something that I think, you just can't prepare for. So it's kind of surprising to experience that the first time.
Jack?
I echo everything that Jessica said. One of the great things about being up here with her as an experienced as our commander has been that she's been able to give us advice and such and work our way through those types of problems. But a more lighthearted answer is that astronauts don't wear shoes. We just wear socks all the time because we don't want to kick any of the equipment, and the equipment's on all the surfaces. So we just wear socks all the time.
Some of us have better socks than others.
She does have a better sock game than I do.
I had not heard that before. That is surprising. To what degree have you brought New England with you? You're both a proud son and a proud daughter of New England, one Connecticut and one I'm sorry, Rhode Island, correct? No, Maine. I'm sorry. Excuse me, Maine. A proud daughter of Maine. Excuse me. To what degree have you brought New England with you up there? To what degree do you look back on the lessons you learned and the life you lived in New England as something that helped you get to where you are?
Where you're from matters a lot, and your family's there, the things that you grew up with, the type of opportunities, the school you went to, the friends you made, the teachers along the way that inspired you, the sports you got to play, all that is, you can't separate that from who you are and where you get to in life. And every time we get to fly over New England, is sometimes a little bit of a battle for the window to take the best picture of that area of where you're from, and that's a super awesome experience. Kind of a fun competition up here, but yeah, where you're from is awesome, and home is home, and we can't separate that.
Unfortunately, northern Maine is usually cloudy, so I often lose the take the best photo, though I did have a very clear pass the other day, so that was nice. But again, I totally agree with Jack. Where you're from is special, and I think especially for us as astronauts, when we're up here on this kind of pedestal and people want to hear what we have to say and connect with us, it makes it easier for people to understand that maybe their dreams can come true if they can identify with you in some way. And so if you're from their hometown, if there's some other other thing that they can resonate with about you, I think that really helps people. It helps people understand that really anything is possible, and that, you know, opens up a whole new world of possibilities for them as well.
And I'm sorry this was not on the list of questions, but it has occurred to me as I'm talking to you. I mean, you all have a unique position, a unique perspective when it comes to the future of space travel and the space program of NASA here in the United States. How do you feel about not only where it's going? Because obviously, I mean, with the space shuttle situations we had, I mean, there was a time where it looked dicey for the American space program. Where do you feel good about where it's at right now? And do you feel good that there is a pipeline of people like you willing to be the next people to go out into space and continue to boldly go where no one's gone before, if I can quote Star Trek? Jessica, when we start with you.
It's a super exciting time. All right, we'll start.
Yeah, actually, we are at an incredibly exciting time right now. I'm sure you've been paying attention as well as the whole world has. People are a little bit space crazy right now, thanks to our friends and colleagues who just returned from the Artemis 2 mission. This is such an exciting time to be an astronaut because we have so many different vehicles that we're flying on and so many different missions, which hasn't really happened for a while since we've just been operating on the International Space Station. On my first mission, I flew up on a Russian Soyuz rocket. This time I was on a SpaceX Dragon. We just had our friends launch on the SLS system with the Orion spacecraft and go around the moon. The next missions will be preparing for our upcoming landing missions, and those will be just around the corner. So I think right now we are really at an incredibly exciting time, one that I would say we've not been at since 50 years ago, since the original Apollo missions. Beyond that, we'll be preparing and taking everything that we learned from these missions to go to Mars. So everything is really leading up to this apex of exploration, where now we're beginning to expand and explore beyond low Earth orbit, where we've been operating for more than 2 decades now. So I would say it's an incredibly exciting time. You also have all of these new private companies that are engaging in space tourism, suborbital flights, orbital flights, even flights that come up here to the International Space Station. So there are more ways to access space than ever before. It's still, of course, quite expensive if you're not a NASA astronaut or one of our international partners. But, of course, that's always true for every new thing, and hopefully eventually the cost will come down and space will become more and more accessible. So I think there's a long line of people ready to do what we are doing, but also to do it in very different ways, which is a wonderful thing.
I guess I'll add about the next generation that there's no doubt in my mind that there's people ready and willing. I got to talk to some Navy lieutenants the other day, and man, it's just so inspiring to see the enthusiasm and the excitement. I don't know if they'll become astronauts or apply to the program, or they'll stay in the Navy and keep flying. And we get to talk to high school students all the time. I got to talk to the high schoolers at South Windsor High and some other schools around the country. And there is a lot of excitement and passion about human spaceflight and about exploring the unknown. So there's no doubt that we get to write our chapter in this story now, but there are untold number of people behind us that are ready to write their own chapters in the future.
Can anyone tell me how we're doing on time? How much time do we have left? I didn't know if there were any producers online. That question may have just gone to you. Sorry about that.
That question may have just gone to you.
Yeah. I think we're tracking 3 more minutes.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Jack, you've operated in high-pressure environments before. How does working in space compare to flying combat missions or landing on a carrier, which seems such an impossible task when you look at it, and yet you all do it with such aplomb?
That's very kind, and shout out to everyone deployed right now that are flying airplanes and doing the nation's business, and we remember them and their families while they're deployed. But here up on the station, we kind of have a saying that life is a marathon up here, not a sprint. We're on a 7-month mission, and there's a lot to do over 7 months, and we can't run ourselves out. on any single day. We have to be ready to do the science and do the maintenance to keep the station running every day, be prepared for any sort of contingency that comes up. So we get lots of training on the ground. There's thousands of people on the ground that prepare us every day. And I'd say that's what's in common with the Navy for me, is that the training value is awesome, and people get us ready, and we find the balance to do the important things up here, be ready for the unexpected, and be excited at the same time.
Just last question. Sorry about that. I know there's a lag here, so I didn't know if Jessica wanted to chime in. But I will ask. Just this. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up right now, just in case we don't want to get cut off without a proper goodbye. But after the goodbye, I might want, if I have time, I'll probably ask you one more question. So here we go. Astronauts Jack Hathaway of Connecticut and Jessica Meir of Maine speaking to us from the International Space Station. Thank you so much, and safe travels.
Thanks very much. It's an adventure, and we're happy to participate.
Okay, so if I have a minute left, just in terms of the fun you guys are having, I mean, so many kids dream about doing this when they're young, and how much fun are you all having aboard the space station? How much does this match up with the childlike dream of one day going to space? Jessica, you first.
You know, you've seen us just kind of spinning around and shooting off even during this interview, and I feel like it just gives you, space has this quality that gives you the levity of a 5-year-old child, brings out those childlike qualities again that I think a lot of us unfortunately lose as adults. And so for me, I think it's a lot more fun. When I went home last time, I had a saying, and it was, gravity is overrated.
Okay.
Another piece of it is that we just come up here with such great people, and
Thank you so much.
Sorry about that.
We just have a great time because we're up here with great people, having good friends, and it's a good time. So it's a wonderful experience. It is a lot of fun, and sharing it with great people and our great ground teams is awesome as well. So thanks very much.
And you've grown quite a prodigious mustache since the last time I saw your face. So, is that part of the naval aviator space travel ethos right there?
Naval aviator space travel ethos right there.
It is a naval tradition to have a mustache on deployment. I'm not sure my wife will let me keep it after I get home, but it's fun to have an outrageous mustache when you can.
It looks good on you. All right.
It's also given a lot of us joy, and the ground team as well. We have a lot of people that have joined in on the challenge. My husband, other people, our doctors, other people along the way are all trying to keep up with Jack, but as you can see, nobody can really quite keep up.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to all participants. Station, we are now resuming operational
Station
audio
copies.
communications.